Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. For this tutorial, I will be talking about file descriptors. Linux handle everything on their system as a file. So that includes music, pictures, input and output processes, and so on. A file descriptor is a unique integer or a unique number that identifies open file in a session. You are allowed to have up to 9 file descriptors open at the same time. However, the first 3 non-integer numbers are reserved. So 0, 1, and 2 are reserved for the system. Starting with 0, 0 is standard input, which is std_in. 1 is standard output, which is std_out. And 2 is standard error, which is stdr. I'm going to go through each of those descriptors. So starting with 0, std_in, when you are working on a Linux system, the standard input will be your keyboard. You can get standard input from other devices, but 99% of the time, the inputs are coming from the keyboard. Right now I'm inside of the tutorial folder, and if I use the cat command by itself, it allows me to put input using the keyboard. So if I hit enter, I can say this is the cat command, and when I press enter or when I hit enter, that line will echo back to me, and I got back this is the cat command. So the cat command by itself accepts input from std_in. The standard input is usually from the keyboard. However, when you are using file descriptors, you can get input from a different file. So I'm going to exit using Ctrl+C. So I have a file inside of my tutorial folder that I would like to work with. So if I do an ls on the folder, I have this text.txt. Now I can tell the cat command, instead of getting the data from the keyboard or std_in, I want to get the data from a file. So I can write the command cat, and I can use the less than symbol, and then I type in the file that I want to get the data from, which is going to be text.txt. And I hit enter. The lines inside of the files will be printed for me. So this command is basically telling the cat command, do not expect your normal input. The normal input for the cat command will be the keyboard. This time we're saying, instead of expecting the input from the keyboard, expect it from a text file. The standard output is a little bit different. The standard output will go to your screen or to your terminal or to your X terminal. However, you can redirect the output to a file. So let's say, for example, I want to do a ls-al, and when I hit enter, I get back the result to my screen or to my terminal. However, I can redirect that output. So instead of it coming to my screen, I can send that output to a file. So I can say ls-al, and instead of the results coming back to the terminal, I want to redirect that result and put it in a file. So I can say, take the output or take the results from ls-al and put it in a file called fdtest. There is no file inside of my tutorial folder called fdtest. So what this redirecting operator will do, it will create the file if the file is not there. So if I hit enter and then I do my next ls, you would see that the fdtest is now inside of the tutorial folder. So I can now do cat fdtest, and when I hit enter, I get the output from the ls command. So you can redirect most commands to a file instead of it coming back to the terminal. So I can also say pwd, and I want to redirect to fdtest. When I hit enter, and if I run the next cat command again on fdtest, I got back the present or my current working directory. Now, if you pay close attention, the greater than symbol or the redirect symbol, first it will delete or empty whatever is in the file and then put in the new data. If you don't want to rewrite over your file, you can use the append operator. So be very careful when you use the redirect operator. Let us run a next ls by itself, and this time we're going to append it to the fdtest file. And then if I run the cat command again on fd test, this time we still got back the pwd that we did, and we also get back the list of the files. So the ls command, it did not erase the file. So if you want to append data to a file instead of deleting, you have to use the append operator, and the append operator is the two greater than symbol together. So that's for std out, and std out is represented with number 1. Let me clear the screen. Now let's go on to stdr, or standard error. By default, the standard error will go to the same place as the standard output. It will go to your terminal, or it will go to the screen or the monitor. You can redirect the result from the error to a text file. So let's say, for example, let's say ls go, and I hit enter. I would get back an error. There is no such file because I have no files inside of my folder, or no directory inside of my folder called go. So let me do an ls on my folder again, and if you look at the files inside of my directory, there is no file or folder inside of this directory called go. So I got back this message: ls cannot access go, no such file or directory. I can take this error message and redirect this message to a text file or to a different location. So I can say ls go, which I don't have any file or folder named go, and I want to take the result and I want to put it in a different output file. So I have to use the number 2 and the greater than symbol. You must use the 2. If you do not use the 2, it will just be regular standard output. So I can say 2 greater than, and I want to put the result in fd test. Now if I do cat fd test, you would see that the error results went into the fd test file. So it rewritten the data that was inside of the fd test file. 90% of the people, they don't put the error in a specific file. So what most people do, they would divert the error to the Linux black hole, and the Linux black hole is /dev/null. So the /dev/null is the same thing as the Windows recycling bin. However, once information goes inside of /dev/null, there is no point of return. You will not get back that data. So we can say ls go and 2 greater than, and we want to put it in /dev/null. If I hit enter, the result of the ls now is inside of the dev/null, which you cannot access that data anymore. I can also redirect stdr and stdout to the same output file. So I'm going to create another file called fdtest2, and if I do an xls, I have fdtest and fdtest2. So I can say something like ls-al go, which go is going to be an error because I do not have any file inside of my folder called go. I want fdtest and fdtest2, and I hit enter. Now if I do cat on fdtest, I get back the error message, and if I also do cat on fds2, and the ls-al went to the fdtest2, and also the error message went to fdtest2.